The last race of the day, the champion bumper. We already know that Tony doesn't give this any time, so you'll be hearing from him next on the Thursday podcast. But Andy,
I could lie, but I won't.
Blue Sari's 5-1. Envoy LN is 11-2. Get in the Queue is 10-1. Meticulous 12-1. 14-1. Abracadabra. I mean, I always think if you can pick win the champion bumper, then good for you. But Tony, it's one I swerve. But
well, the thing is with the champion bumper is that obviously, from being a speed figure man, you don't get that many horses that have done a good number coming into this, just because of the nature of bumper races. They're often slowly run and then they quicken up from the last half mile, blah blah blah. Looking at Blue Sari the other day, they basically dawdle down to where the wings of the third last wire, and he's quickened up really well. Come clear of your useful field. We know he can operate at a good level, and we know he can quicken, but what he's going to be like in a strongly run environment, I have no idea, because there's no evidence to tell us that. So for that reason, I probably won't want to back him at a short price. We know Envoy Allen can handle those conditions. When he won at Leopardstown, it was a strongly run race and he looked very strong. But by an absolute country mile, the best UK horse I've got running a fast time, not once but twice, is this Get in the Queue.
high fries.
The day when he won at, I think it was Uttoxeter. First time
he talked to them at Exeter a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he clocked a phenomenal time. Straight away I went, whoa, this horse is useful. And I put him up last week. He was in that leg of that really good day I had.
5 out of 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of those fluky days. And we couldn't see much of it because there was the fog, I think. But he ended up winning by 15 lengths. But luckily, at least I could time him from when he went into the fog and came out the fog, because the 2 points I do him from were still valid. And he was this is amazing, he was a full 8 seconds quicker than Epperton.
Really?
The mare of Nicky Henderson's who won early on in the card. You're talking 40 lengths he beat a mare, and obviously I know the mare's got to jump 4 or 5 flights of hurdles from that point, but still an extraordinary amount of ground that horse beat a good horse by. So I know that Get in the Queue can run at a fast time. He's the only proven fast speed figure horse I've got in the UK. Now he's obviously owned by the Roonies, who've been well documented. They might not want runners here. You know, very similar to Gigginstown. They want to be protecting their horses. They didn't run one of their better horses in the race last year, trained by Fergal O'Brien, because they thought the hot house nature of the bumper might just be too much for their horse. But if he did run and they decided to take the chance, and I think he's a serious player.
They are having runners, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are.
Well, the announcement came out the day the entries for the bumper closed.
Yeah, I think
hint, nudge, wink.
Well,
sounds like the decision was made 5 minutes after Getting the Queue one.
I think they probably couldn't literally get their breath. But numbers-wise, I mean, he run to a championship time. Like I've got a guide in my figures tell me whether a horse is a championship horse based on the clock time they clock and the figure I can give them. The average win of a champion bumper is around about 65, 66 on my figures, and he did a 68 when he won Exeter. So he's run beyond championship level before he's run at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
So he's the one that's put the marker down.
And under penalty as well, or is that?
He carried it. If you
takes a good one to carry.
I might have a bit in the pamper this year, actually.
He's a seriously good horse.
Well, Get in the Queue currently 10-1. Be quick. This is Monday morning. And let's hope when this podcast comes out, Andy Holding and Tony Calvin haven't taken all that 10s away from us. But and Joe, anything for you here?
I think going forward, I think this is going to be one of the better bumpers than previous years. Blue Sari looked very good. They clearly think out the world of the JP horse that was second, and he looked to be cantering when he was brought down in a bit of a freak situation next time out. Andy has said all that has to be said on Getting the Queue. Nichols has restocked with some really nice younger horses. Silver Forever won the Mayor's bumper at Ascot. He's got Ask for Glory and Flick of Voyou. I don't think he's ever had many runners in the race, so I don't know who's going to line up. Envoy Allen, after he won on debut at Fairyhouse on Hatton's Grace Day, he wasn't going to Cheltenham, and now he is, potentially as a result of Malone Road being out. But the one I will give a shout out to at a huge price will be Paul Nolan's, who we spoke about earlier about Discorama, his latest exhibition, owned and bred by Jim Myrna, and he absolutely danced in an ace, I think it was back in January, under a jockey having his first ride or his first winner at least. I'm assuming he'll get a professional in the bumper. and I think he is going to be totally overpriced. He's about 25s or 33s in places.
Yeah, 33 to 1 pretty much across the board there. So that's latest exhibition for Joe. Any more to add?
Yeah, just to add on that, get in the queue. I mean, Teddy likes this angle. You can actually still back him 10 to 1 non-running, I bet, can't you? Get in the queue with 365.
Really? Yeah, with 365, yeah.
So it's the best price in the village, and if he doesn't run, you get your money back. So that's an unbelievable offer, because he'll go off close to favourite, particularly if Ireland doesn't run.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a drawback there, but I won't go into it.
Okay.
None of us can get on with it.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Certainly not. Certainly.
The listeners might be able to, though.